Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we return with round 4 of the F1 24 My Team Career Mode. Yes, we're back this weekend here for the Japanese Grand Prix. Of course, if you missed out on the video that went live a couple of days ago from Australia, I would highly recommend going back and checking it out. We had a pretty decent run at Albert Park, and by pretty decent, we were able to finish a race for the first time this season. Not only did we finish that race though, but we picked up some decent points in the process there. A 4th place finish in Albert Park sees us leapfrog straight into 10th place overall in the Drivers' Championship and immediately up into 6th place in the Constructors as well. Then Lewis Hamilton leading the way. Boy oh boy, has it been a long time since we said that in the world of Formula 1, ahead of Oscar Piastri and Fernando Alonso. This series could really deliver quite an interesting title over the course of the campaign. Verstappen all the way down in P8 overall. I think the last time he was that low down in the championship was probably after round 1 of 2020, where obviously he failed to finish in the opening race of the campaign. But yeah, returning to Suzuka though this weekend, we've got the Japanese Grand Prix here today. Later on tonight, hopefully I'm going to be live with the Japanese Grand Prix in the Williams Road to Glory. And then tomorrow we've got the Japanese Grand Prix in the driver career mode. There's a lot of Suzuka coming your way.
This is a circuit where sometimes you see something truly exceptional behind the wheel. We've seen it from Vettel, we've seen it from Verstappen. It is a remarkable place to watch a car at speed. Welcome to Suzuka. We're qualifying for the Japanese Grand Prix.
I cannot believe it. For the first time in what genuinely feels like about 20 races on this game, we have finally got a wet session here inside F1 24. I genuinely can't remember the last time I saw it rain on this game. I was starting to wonder, I kept checking it, thinking perhaps I accidentally had it set so we could only get dry sessions. It is meant to dry up though by the end of qualifying, so it might end up being one of those sessions where the last car on a run has got a pretty big advantage. We've got 4 sets of intermediate tyres that we can go through though, so I'm going to try and put some laps on the board. When it is like this, it's better just to actually go out and do a few laps in one go, rather than just one by one. Let's not forget as well, this weekend, obviously Yumu's home Grand Prix, so it'd be nice for him to really try and get a little bit closer to the rest of the runners here. 8 tenths up on Zhou Guanyu to make our way down into the final sector. I'm hoping we got the pace, sort of to be around the top 10 come the end of qualifying, but we'll have to wait and see as to how we get on through the Casio Triangle. First lap's going to be completed. Might have to charge up the battery pack slightly on the second run. We only go P15. Tell you what, yeah, we are not a million miles away from the dry compounded tyre here, and with the AI, where they like to get their lap done before the clock hits 0, this might give us a real opportunity here towards the end of qualifying. Rather not get ahead of myself. We've often been burned before. See, now in the driver career mode, racing for Ferrari, we can take pole fairly regularly. In fact, we have done so in the last 2 Grand Prix back-to-back. Though that kind of luck, though, definitely not so easily possible in this series. And again, just a couple more corners to go. Would be nice to try and get down into the low 38s. I believe Charles Leclerc has set the time of a 1:37.3, which has put him at the front of the order. So gaps, yeah, a little bit more spread out here than you would expect to see. 38.4 puts us P12 between Alonso and Perez. We've got one more run on this set of tyres. Then we're going to dive back in and work out what we're going to do for our last attempt. Just trying to make sure we drain the last little bit of our battery. I think we're starting to get towards about 5 minutes left on the clock, because we're starting to see other drivers back out on the circuit. Are seeing steady improvement though. This is why it's good to build up that confidence as you go throughout. We now go into the 37s up to P8, and we're now in a McLaren sandwich. Well, we've only got time for one final lap here in qualifying, and we have taken the gamble. Everybody else is on inters.
Intermediates, box for inters.
I mean, this might put us right at the back of the field, but if there's a chance to be right at the front, then you've surely got to try and take it here. 1 lap to go. Oh, I'm not convinced it's the right choice. Oh, no. Right, we just got to go for it anyway. Drain the battery on the run down towards turn 1. Pierre Gasly now has immediately gone to the top of the timing, so we've got to make sure that we don't get caught out behind him. But you can just see, I mean, we know how bad the dry line is if you dip off it on this game, and already a second down through the first corner of the lap. Tip it into the S's. Hamilton into the 35s. We've got nothing. We've got absolutely nothing here. We took the gamble. I think we're going to find ourselves right down at the rear of the field come the end of the session as Charles Leclerc continuing to improve. We took it. We tried it. It hasn't paid off for us. And I think we are going to be lining up P19 on the grid. Well, despite such changeable conditions, then in the end, qualifying was still fairly normal. Max Verstappen, I'm sure, a bit gutted to line up all the way down in P8. But it is Lando Norris that finds himself on pole position here. Annoyingly for us, Iwasa still ended up last come the end of the session. I'm impressed that we were still quicker than both Kick Saubers, despite how much better the track was when they went out. We took a gamble. It didn't pay off. I guess we can throw some fresh engine components in the back of the car, and I'll see you guys on the grid.
We come to you today live from the Mai Prefecture in the south of Japan's Honshu Island for a race that has seen so many title deciders through the years, some simple, some controversial, but all contributing to a legacy that makes the Japanese Grand Prix an indispensable stop in any Formula One season. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Lando Norris put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he will start from pole position. Charles Leclerc alongside. Considering the rest of the grid we have Stroll, Hamilton, Perez, Sainz, Verstappen, Tsunoda, Ocon, Russell, Ricciardo, Gasly, Hülkenberg, Oscar Piastri, Fernando Alonso, Teo Porcher, Sargent, Mr. Monaco, Bottas, Iwasa, Albon and Zhou Guanyu. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Okay, let's try not to worry about being down here at the back. You've got the speed, you've got the car, so just take it easy and the race will come to you.
Yeah, I'll be honest, this one I'm a little bit nervous about. Japan is a very, very good track for the AI. It's not going to be like Australia, I think, where we can really carve our way through. Today is just going to be about trying to hang on. Maybe we'll see some interesting strategies come through, and we can try to capitalise with that. But yeah, starting on the mediums, moving over to the hards, it is so important that you stay in the DRS trains, although it is just one DRS zone around this venue. I did look at taking some grid pens, but honestly didn't really see the point in it. It is 5 red lights here on the track, and it's going to be lights out, and away we go as Logan Sargent. Look at that, like a scolding cat off the line. Unfortunately for him, Fernando Alonso really gave a "you shall not pass" attempt at blocking down into turn 1 there, as they're going to try and capitalise down the inside of the American. Side by side with him through turn 1 and turn 2 as Alonso, Formula 1's most experienced driver, going up alongside Formula 1's least experienced driver in Teo Porcher there. We thought Sargent might just back out of it, tried to give him a squeeze. Clearly, yeah, the American felt otherwise there. As look at that, Teo Porcher still trying to hang it around the outside of Alonso. Not quite enough grip as we get towards the top of the hill. They're down the inside of the Haas will go. Oh, that was optimistic. And, well, clearly the new kid on the block. You kind of got to, bully him into place. Remind him that he is, the new kid here. Might try and do the same, though, to Fernando Alonso. You got to try and make sure that you bully the old boys on this grid. Yeah, they've been around for quite a while. And make them understand their place as well. As we go side by side with Alonso then. It's actually been a pretty good start.
Fine, let's try and move forward.
Oh, Alonso there tried to hook it up around the outside. Just put me offline ever so slightly. I think we're going to leave him and Porcher to fight once again. Well, this is a circuit that really, really does capitalise on good battery efficiency. There's not many opportunities to really charge back up the pack here. As you can see, Fernando Alonso is absolutely hounding me. I don't think we're going to be able to keep him at bay for very long. Already seeing a bit of a breakaway, though, between our top 3 drivers. And Lance Stroll up in P4. I genuinely don't think I've seen him get a podium so far in this game. Maybe today could be his day there as Lando Norris trying to battle with Charles Leclerc. I think we might see the other Aston Martin wave goodbye to me back down towards turn 1. Not this time round. Alonso decides to stay put. Well, I can only assume that Alonso is waiting for me to lose the DRS range to the cars in front. He'll attack me down in towards 130R and then kind of chicken out of it at the last minute. Then again, he won't attack me down the front straight when he probably could very easily sail past me here. It's a rather peculiar strategy by the Aston Martin man. I can see Ricciardo just trying to inch away from Nico Hülkenberg. I mean, they're all just trying to hang on to the top 10 early on here. There's a big opportunity for a couple of the smaller teams to score points. With Piastri, with Alonso way down the order.
I've got some information on Alonso. They've got some kind of mechanical problem.
That might explain it then. Alonso, he might know. He's immediately stopped back. Okay, he's got a big problem. Alonso, I think, is out of the Grand Prix. He's going really slowly. We're going to take a gamble. We're going to try and box now over to the set of the hard compounded tyres. Oh, is he? No, he's not boxing. He's not retiring, sorry, Alonso. Oh, damn it, man. I thought Alonso was going out of the Grand Prix, so I thought we'd gamble it into the pit lane. I mean, to be fair, I'm not really convinced we're going to be able to score points anyway this afternoon, but it must have just been a puncture for him.
That was a fantastic stop, faster than we were expecting.
Such a stupid mistake to make, and 20 laps on the hards is not going to be fun.
Penalty for dangerous driving if you cross onto the track.
I guess we've got to wait and see if we end up with a safety car or a red flag or something anyway, but that was unbelievably stupid of me. I took the gamble, and it might not pay off. Well, let's ride on board then with Fernando Alonso and just see what happened as we make our way down this back straight. See, he's close up behind me, and the tyre just goes bang! Absolutely crazy scenes for Alonso, who luckily can scroll off some speed before he gets down into 130R, but Alonso with a puncture seemingly out of nowhere here. What drama early on here at Suzuka. Well, Fernando Alonso's now running about a second a lap faster than me. We are admittedly going about a second a lap faster than Iwasa in front. More alarmingly, though, we don't seem to be much quicker, if any, pace at all over Zhou and Albon. Last year, we ended up having a stinker here. We finished last, I believe, after doing a two-stop strategy. I'm slightly concerned that might happen again. I mean, we basically are waiting for either Alonso to catch me up or for something to happen that gives us a safety car in this race. At the moment, yeah, we're kind of just doing laps of the Japanese Grand Prix. Like I said, I've got 3 races around here coming up, so I guess it's good to get those laps in. Get that practice down on this circuit, but it's not one I enjoy on the F1 game. It's one that I think the AI desperately need a rebalance on as well. They're very quick in rather peculiar places around this lap. Albon is still pulling away from me, admittedly only very slightly now. So we've got our first other runner into the pit lane. Who is that already in? That is Sergio Perez, who's now on a 2-stop for some reason. Oh, there we go. The other Red Bull as well into the pits.
0.3 seconds.
So that's very interesting then. Red Bull have tried to do a softer medium strat, so I think Perez might still be one-stopping this. Perez has come out ahead of his teammate, though, but I guess he is, at the moment, the #1 driver. Obviously ahead in the championship. Red Bull, yeah, well, I don't know what's happened to them at the start of this year. I mean, it certainly gives us an intriguing story. They are just not able to deliver. But I don't think there's going to be a lot we can do against Fernando Alonso now we've got no DRS off the cars in front. But hopefully we can try and stick with him. I'm looking at it now. I think we're both actually trying to go to the end of the race still. Front tyre is only at 22%.
The car behind, 1 second.
Admittedly, yeah, they're going to be quite worn out by the end of this race, but I think we should still be able to make the one-stop work. Annoyingly, carried just a bit too much speed into 1. I need to try and hang on to Fernando's coattails. Yeah, that plan to stick with Fernando Alonso pretty much was immediately dead in the water as soon as I proposed it. Hopefully we're going to see AI, though, into the pits at the end of this lap. I mean, I'm hoping right around that gaggle of cars with Logan Sargent and Valtteri Bottas. Just, obviously, where the Red Bulls nearly are caught up to. But I'd just like to see other cars in the second half of this race. I know I've completely screwed myself over. But, I mean, a safety car late on would be wonderful. There we go. Albon and Valtteri Bottas into the pit lane then. So those are about roughly where I want to be fighting, or I think we can be fighting towards the end of the afternoon. Yuma Iwasa staying out there for one extra lap. Oh, we got a yellow out. I think that might be a V-carb. Don't say that's Yuki Tsunoda. Surely not at his home Grand Prix. Yuki Tsunoda's not going to be out of this. He's definitely running very slowly. I think he's causing a little bit of chaos. Come on, give us safety car game. He's pulled over. It's definitely a V-carb. Is it Tsunoda? Come on. It doesn't want to say for some reason. Come on.
Okay,
Oh, it's Ricciardo.
Okay, it looks like the problem's terminal. They're retiring the car.
Well, disappointment still, of course, for the Australian, but I'm happy that at least, yeah, it's not Yuki at his home races. There is the stricken V-carb. Not what they would have wanted. Most of our other runners then into the pit lane. As you can see, that undercut really hasn't worked out well for Red Bull. They're going to have very worn tyres by the end of the race. Iwasa, though, able to go more than half race distance on those mediums.
0 seconds.
Does give me a little bit of confidence that these hards might be able to go to the end, as we're now back up a place from where we started. If we could somehow hang on to this, it might not be the end of the world. Oh, Lando Norris is gone. Lando Norris is out of the race. What on earth is happening? Later on here, 2 cars out within a lap of each other, and clearly if you used to drive for McLaren, you are not in good shape at the moment. Sergio Perez, new fast lap of the day. So for whatever reason, then Red Bull's still looking pretty racy. But yeah, suddenly now it's one of the Mercs out front. I could not tell you whether it's Hamilton or Russell. We'll try and see if Mark can give us any information. Where is full race update? I don't know. Where is it? Nowhere? Is that not a thing anymore? I don't know what's going on. I really don't know what's going on. I don't get any kind of full race up. Oh, there we go. It's the second option.
Just ahead. Push, push. Okay, they're on fresh hards. Bottas is behind you. Okay, they're on fresh hards. Look after these tyres now. You want to finish the race on this compound. Okay, 12 laps to go.
Yep, none of that was useful. Thanks, Mark. Oh, here comes Valtteri Bottas. That kick Sauber has certainly got some ponies underneath it. Ferrari power versus Renault power, and yeah, nothing we could do on that occasion. Not the end of the world, though. So obviously it will mean that we get the DRS back down towards turn 1. I'm happy to play the strategic game against the Sauber car. Let's try and roll on that throttle out of the final corner. Open up the DRS we go again. Just 11 laps to go now of this race.
15.2 seconds.
Try and go the long way around Bottas as we'll swoop back in for an apex. Force him to back out. Well, when I don't use battery then out of that corner, Bottas every single time is going to get the slingshot on me. Like I said though, I'm not too worried. If he wants to go for it, I will quite happily claim the DRS. Back down towards turn 1. You can see this time around. Oh, Bottas! Oh, what is that? Bottas just forced me straight off the road. Okay, well I guess we're not claiming the DRS then.
You need to cut corners. The stewards are going to give you a penalty. Be careful.
No idea what that was about. I don't often see that aggressive version of Valtteri Bottas in the world of Formula 1. So trying to have a look back around the outside of Alex Albon then, down in towards that first corner. I also didn't realise that, yeah, that final chicane, the moto layout, is really narrow. But yeah, now we're back down to P17 then. I don't think we're going to catch back up. I think it might actually be in our best interest to let Alex Albon by now. As to the outside goes the Williams. We'll just try and make sure that we do in fact get the DRS off him. We know we should be quicker than Logan Sargent towards the end of the race. So surely we're going to see him close back in. Only problem I've got there is how am I going to be able to make my way through to the front of that group? We've still got Zhou Guan Yu just behind. Awasa in a very disappointing last place, as there goes Zhou as well. And after the highs of last weekend, seeing the checkered flag, the rate we're going, there's no point seeing it today. Apart from obviously, you know, to try and improve our average finish position. Oh, this is the other problem we've got. We're on so much older tyres than basically anybody else. It is very, very difficult to try and stay in the DRS window of those cars in front. Could not tell you whether Albon's going quicker at the moment, as I think Teo Pourchaire now is trying to apply pressure to Valtteri Bottas back down towards turn 1. Round the outside goes the kick Sauber on the Haas car. Of course, identical power units between those two machines. But I think Pourchaire's done it. Oh, damn it, man. We've lost the range. It's all over. 7 laps to go of this race.
1.8 seconds.
Unless Bottas and Pourchaire fancy throwing the almightiest of almighty scraps down at each other. For whatever reason over like P14. Yeah, I don't quite see a way in which we get back in this fight. I guess the only other thing we can try and do is beat Awasa. I'm also slightly concerned that this tyre might puncture before the end of this race. But just an absolute weekend to forget. Well, I tell you what, for a track that's meant to be a figure of 8, you don't have to get through the front right tyre here quite a lot. I'm guessing through the S's, and especially through the second half of the lap, it really is taking an absolute beating still. 84% on that front right tyre. I'm not feeling confident with 4 laps to go. I mean, we are basically at the point now where RNG can take over at any point.
Behind, 9.9 seconds.
I believe on F124 it is slightly higher than it has been in previous games, obviously with the new tyre wear physics, but I think anything over about 80%, then you can basically have a puncture whenever. Oh, I'm not feeling good. That 93% on that front right tyre. It's Oscar Piastri, weirdly, has just set a new fastest lap of the day. How is it not gone up yet? I mean, this is basically a drive until the tyres explode challenge at the end of the Japanese Grand Prix. The only reason we're sticking out there is obviously just so we can try and beat Awasa on the road this weekend, but this is an absolute disastrous race. Terrible, terrible gamble by me. Alonso's made it work for the most part. I don't think he was ever really likely going to score points this afternoon, but 2 laps to go. Can we hang on? Starting then the final lap of the Japanese Grand Prix here. It is once again been a tough old afternoon. Yeah, I really can't wait to finish this one and just kind of look back and, well, we know exactly what went wrong with it. But still a real shame for it to end the way it has. Like I said, I still don't know which Merc it is leading the way. Are we about to see Hamilton get his 2nd race victory of the year and really affirm himself as a championship threat once again? Or is it George Russell who's going to make it our 4th different winner to kickstart the year? Come on, damn it.
Don't worry about the spin, let's just get back up to speed. Careful on the next few corners, your rear tyres might be a bit hot now.
Oh no, we're going to lose to Awasa. Oh, there goes Ayumu. Damn it, man. Just as Lewis Hamilton will cross the line and he will take his 2nd race victory of the year there and open up his championship lead, which he took last weekend. I believe it's Charles Leclerc that is going to come through for P2 as well. And just as the tyres really given up the ghost, I've got no idea how that front right still hasn't gone completely pop at this stage. It's still at 93%. How on earth does it go all the way to 93 and then just stay there for the final few laps here? I don't really know how that works around this circuit, but as we make our way into the final couple of corners though, a disappointing weekend for the team all around, but for the 2nd year in a row, Ayumu Awasa seems like he's going to get the better of me, albeit under rather dubious circumstances when the time comes there. Through the final couple of corners, we took a gamble, it didn't pay it off, I'm a moron. Bottle Job 212 is back through the Casio Triangle one final time. I'll be honest, I'm a little bit sad that I've got to do 2 more races here, but it is what it is.
The longest winner streak of his career is over. Lewis Hamilton takes the checkered flag.
And that's 2 wins in a row now. It's the start of potentially something special, but they can't get ahead of themselves just yet. It's a long way to go.
Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on that podium once again.
Well, I tell you what, at the start of the year, I don't think any of us had Lewis Hamilton and a title challenge on our bingo card, but the Mercedes driver becomes our 1st repeat winner of this season there. 1 second clear of Charles Leclerc, with Sainz in the 2nd Ferrari able to beat out the Red Bulls and George Russell. Stroll, he started P3. Admittedly, 7th isn't a bad result for him, but I'm sure he's a little bit gutted with that. Still able to beat out Esteban Ocon. Tsunoda gets his 1st points, I believe, of the year. And Oscar Piastri there. For us, the less said the better, to be honest. It was an absolute stinker, and one I'd rather not think about all too much there. Hamilton now with a 30-point lead in the championship as well, so suddenly he's got a massive lead at the top of the table ahead of Leclerc and Piastri there. 3 points covering both Ferraris and the McLaren man, with George Russell just behind and Verstappen and Perez now tied as well. We still are in 10th place, but yeah, we're starting to see a few more drivers picking up points as well early on in the year. Constructors-wise, Mercedes still with a 26-point gap at the top of the table. Red Bull 16 further behind Ferrari as well there, and hopefully we're going to be able to hang on to P6 as the season continues. But thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed. We're going to be back early next week then, I believe, for our first sprint weekend of the year from Shanghai.